Welcome, my friends, to the glory. We will all be one in Phyrexian perfection.
This is the intro for the Hatcher show. He didn't want to do nothing, so he's standing there.
All right, my friends, we have gathered to take a look at what's inside a Phyrexia All Will Be One welcome booster. Now, these are special boosters. They don't come in booster boxes. You can only get these from LGSs. And the contents of a welcome booster will always be the same. They are identical. All right, now let's take a look at the artwork because they do create special artwork that is just for this. Why does it not want to focus on? There you go. It loved my playmat just too much, and I understand this is a beautiful playmat. You know what? If you want to get one for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. But anyways, this booster, very, very nice looking. You got the Phyrexia intermingled with the Planeswalker symbol. You can see the different spikes of it here. I dig that vibe, right? If you don't know what I mean, it's that symbol right there. Bam! So, inside the booster pack, let's take a look. These are meant to lead people who have just started Magic into the game. So they give you a good idea of what Wizards is prioritizing in terms of showing new players. So it starts out with this welcome to the world of Magic. Here are some cards to help get you started. I think this is cool. I liked the intro decks they used to give away, but at the same time, they were pretty bland imagination-wise. They didn't do much to fire up your imagination. These tend to have more of a variety cards so that you can get a different kind of vibe going on, maybe get more excited. So on the front, you've got Welcome to the World of Magic. On the back, you've got Make New Friends Every Friday Night. Connect with your fellow Magic players, Friday Night Magic. I like that one of the first things you're seeing straight out of the gates is go and actually play on Friday night down at the LGS. Then we've got a nice flavor card. You can only get these inside these packs. These don't show up in regular boosters. Meet Elish Norn. After rising above the other Phyrexian Praetors in a struggle for power, Elish Norn led the transformation of the plane of Mirrodin into a world of twisted perfection called New Phyrexia. That's a good little blurb to get you in, let you know what's going on. And then on this side, it says, now she envisions an entire multiverse blessed by the same mechanical corruption. And then it's got a link to the story. So right out of the gates, go to your game store, check out the lore. I love it. Then we've got you can't tell maybe from the camera, but this is a foil mountain showing you that the mountains in Phyrexia are not like mountains you would normally see. You're not going to see Mount Everest looking like this. It has a furnace vibe, and that's because this is from the furnace level of Phyrexia. If you guys didn't know, there is a 10-part story for Phyrexia All Will Be One. I covered the whole thing over on Fantasy Geographic, so I'll link that at the end of the video in case you want to check out the story. It's pretty sweet. All right, then we've got another foil. This is Thrill of Possibility. This is one of the most striking pieces of artwork in the entire set. Nahiri, in her non-Phyrexian and Phyrexianized versions here, is very striking. So, 1 red and 1 for an instant that says, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. So this shows that red has the ability to give up some of its resources to gain some more, right? I mean, that's going to be different from blue. We all know that. But a beginner right away is going to be like, okay, I can give up 1 card to get 2. The flavor text says, as the infection spread, Nahiri's thoughts grew tangled. She needed to protect what she loved from Phyrexia. Or maybe only Phyrexia could protect what she loved. I do like the mental transformation concept as people give into Phyrexia. Unless you're Luca, of course, in which case you just go, hey, Phyrexian buddy, wouldn't it be great if you inserted yourself deep inside me? I want you deep inside me, Phyrexian boy. And then all of a sudden he's completed. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, bro? Anyways, artwork absolutely amazing on that. Also, you know what? The concept of slapping in a bunch of foils is a great idea. Here's another one. Why not go heavy? I think this might be more foils than normal. 2 green and 3 for a 4/4 Tyrannax Atrocity. It's a creature and it's called an Atrocity. That's amazing. It's got haste and Toxic 3. Oh, wow. It gives you 3 poison counters. All right, so this gives you the idea of super fast corrupted dinosaurs. You can see the Phyrexia in there, so they've been converted. The flavor text says, While some predators specialize in speed, size, or deadly venom, the adaptive Tyranax see no need to limit themselves. I'll take it all. Magic cards have come a long way. This is just a common. I remember back in the day when I played Legends, 5 mana would get you a 3/6 with no abilities. Not saying that's great. I mean, that's a really bad deal for your 5 mana. Or 5 mana would get you a Dirkwood Boars, which was a 4/4 with no abilities. Not haste, and I give 3 poison counters. 3 poison counters is a weird amount. It's because, like, once you hit them 3 times, they're only at 9 poison counters. Still, it is a beefy number, and I haven't seen too many large toxic numbers. So this transmits the idea of poisonous modified dinosaurs, which is really funky. Then we've got Commander's Sphere. This is something that Wizards tends to include in every one of the welcome boosters. This introduces the concept of Commander, right? You got your 3 casting cost artifacts, so you're also introduced to the idea of something that doesn't have the colored mana symbols that you've seen up here, because you're like, okay, I've seen a mana symbol, I've seen what the mana symbol would get used for. Look, that's on the mountain. Then we've got a different color of mana symbol. Now all of a sudden we have something that only corresponds to the second part of the casting cost. It's 3 like that. It's interesting, the progression that you can... I mean, it depends on how much somebody's scrutinizing it, but still, I find that interesting. So this adds 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. That introduces the concept of commander color identities and the format as well. And you can sack this to draw a card. So it's all right. There's a billion mana rocks. I have no idea if this is actually still good enough for commander. So if you know, let me know. Then we've got a Cephalopod Sentry. What is this? It's a flying Phyrexian squid. What? 1 blue, 1 white, and 2 for a star 5, and its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Weird. Silent observers swim through the air of Norn Seed Core, watching the nascent invasion tree for any signs of interference. Weird. These fly around the world tree? That's funky flavor right there. Look at that. I mean, he's going to come up and tickle your head. All right. Then we've got Ambulatory Edifice. 1 black and 2 for a 3/2 Phyrexian construct. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. When you do, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Interesting. So, in one way, you don't have to worry about giving your own creatures minuses if you are the only one with creatures out and you don't want to use that ability. On the other hand, if you do want to use the ability, you have to pay life. But life as a resource is pretty useful, and if you have a lot of life, this can get a blocker out of the way or swing combat, or there's a number of ways where that can be pretty solid overall. Flavor text says the Mirren forces thought they'd vanquish their foes until a nearby monument got up and started stalking towards them. So, this, and actually the squid before it, now that I think about it, introduced the idea of creatures that are artifacts as well. So you've got that, and the idea that you can spend your life as a resource, not just take damage to your life, is also something new that you learn here. Then we've got Kea, Bane of the Dead, so this is being introduced to Planeswalkers. 6 mana, you get the hybrid casting cost. It's like, oh, I can use either. All right, that's funky. And then you've got the concept of the loyalty. This is a weird Planeswalker in one way to introduce people to Planeswalkers, because a lot of Planeswalkers don't have this function like enchantment uncommon level with only minuses. A lot of them have build up to an ultimates, but in another way, I guess it's more simplistic in that, here's what you get to spend, here's how you spend it. But it feels weird that it's like, she's got 7 to spend, you can spend 3 for this. It's like, all right, but you still have an effect when she's around, right? You get to take away your opponent's hexproof, basically, which is not too shabby. Then we've got another one of the little inserts. Again, saying go talk to your local gaming store. They'll help you get started. Join the community. I like this. They're not trying to push Arena on new players immediately, right? There's probably something in here about it at some point, but still. No wrong way to play Magic. Commander, Standard, Booster Draft. So now they know there's 3 different formats. That connects to the Commander Sphere that we saw, so that works. Then you get this fat, delicious daddy, where it's like, whoa, look at you, 7 mana, 6/4, flying trample. That feels really good. And then you read it, whenever a dragon you control attacks against double strike, it gets a hit twice, and it's like, wait, he's a dragon. So that affects him. And then all your dragons? So that brings you into the tribal concept as well as just giving you the gut punch of a powerhouse card, right? He feels great. He feels great from a beginner's perspective. Or I guess it's her, never mind. Her hunger knows no limit. Left unchecked, she would feast on all of Tarkir. All right, well, when it comes to dragons, I don't spend my time staring between the legs, so I had no idea. A Tarka? Oh, what's this? This is different. This wasn't in a previous welcome booster. Linvala the Preserver. Cool. Mythic Angel. Nice. 2 white and 4. 5/5 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, if your opponent has more life than you gain 5. If your opponent has more creatures than you get a 3/3 angel. This brings in white's like trying to preserve the balance rules kind of setting that they have, because rules is like the white's like, yo, if you do this, I get to do this. If you do that, I get to do this. So it's in that vein. It doesn't feel like a mythic in this era, though, does it? Look at this. Like, it's got the mythic symbol, but this does not feel mythic level. It's 6 mana for a 5/5 flyer that maybe gives you 5 life and maybe gives you a 3/3 flyer. That, by today's standards, feels under mythicked. Then, oh, look at this. You get to see a different kind of style here. 2 blue and 3, 4/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card and discard a card. And it says, Phyrexia will stretch from sea to sky, across worlds and realities, inescapable and perfect. This is a very striking style, right? So this is going to give people the idea that all Magic cards don't really have the exact same look to them. Then we have a code for an arena deck. Feel free to use this, first person to find it. I no longer play Arena, so this is of no use to me. That wraps it up, friends. Thanks for stopping by. Go watch some other stuff on this channel or check out the lore on Fantasy Geographic.